searching for you. I'm still searching for you. From dirt to the sky, I'm still searching for you. 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 I'm still from dirt to the sky. I'm still searching for you.
Wake the fuck up, samurai. We have a city to burn.
You disgust me.
Who gives a shit?
Go on.
I made it the fuck up.
I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. It's glorious.
I'm sorry. I couldn't resist.
Hello, everybody out there in YouTube land. This is your teacher and historian, and welcome to another Tuesday with Geeks. And boy, do I have some geeky people today. I got Ironcaster.
Howdy, howdy.
I have author Ethan Herfurth with his newest Kickstarter project.
Hello there.
And I have Daniel with Driving and Dragons. First time on the show. Good to see you, bud.
What's up?
Hey. All right. Well, let's have a little bit of fun tonight, huh? Let's see. It's Tuesday, and this is usually kind of our chill day. You don't have to get into any extreme topics and get serious and, try to change the world with what we have to say. I will say this, though. Oh, and we got Savo, who I know she would be with us if she could, but, for whatever circumstances that keep her from hanging out with us, in panel person, she's at least with us in spirit in our chat. So I started watching this latest season of Last of Us because I watched the first season and it wasn't too bad. And I mean, keep in mind, I'm a person who really likes zombie films and zombie series, and so I will give even a bad zombie movie kind of a pass if it's, at least kind of entertaining. I mean, there's some out there that are just absolute dog shit that I absolutely would not watch again and would not recommend. But, yeah, so I started watching this new episode and I cannot get over how ugly Bella Ramsey really is. I just can't. I mean, I know it's really not her fault. It's probably, how they made her up and everything. But I mean, if I had been the casting director, I'd have gone ahead and dumped her for season 2 and gotten a different actress. Because even though I know she's a grown up, she still looks too young to be playing Ellie as old as she's supposed to be in, The Last of Us 2, which is ostensibly what season 2 is going to be leading into. And also the actress they have to play Abby, as expected, is not Hulkamaniac sized arms and physique, because one, I don't think they have an actress out there with a personal trainer who would work her hard enough to be able to get her into that kind of shape. Not in the shooting time that they have. I mean, the whey protein costs alone would probably, bankrupt the budget on the show.
I don't think it's going to be the protein cost.
I mean, a steroid shots.
It's going to be some of the other supplements that rack that bill up if you want to get them 24-inch pythons on the young lady.
What do you say, Caster?
I'm a bit torn on this because on the one hand, the character of Abby has become such a controversy in and of itself that we have the infamous Abby golf clip. But on the other hand, I really want to see Pedro Pascal get his head beat in by us with a golf club.
I mean, there's pros and cons to everything, I suppose.
So I guess it's like, which do I want more? And I honestly can't decide.
Well, and for those of you who don't know about what happens between Abby and Joel and how Abby looks in Last of Us 2, let me give you a quick preview. You get the point. That wasn't really a spoiler. Oh, yeah, sorry about that. It is kind of loud.
Channeling her inner Jack.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, but that's pretty much kind of what happens is, she's a big, huge, jacked woman in the game, and she beats Joel's head in with a golf club and pretty much beats the shit out of every other character in the game. It's And the sad thing is, since Neil Cuckman actually took to social media and was talking about, I'm afraid that's the end of The Last of Us because there's just not going to be a third game. So effectively, after The Last of Us 2 ends on such a shitty down note, that is apparently the entire story of The Last of Us, which this is the story as it goes with just those two parts, which is risk your life, go through incredible hardship, save somebody, love them fiercely, and even, force, kill the entire world versus losing somebody that you love and care about, who in the end will grow up to hate you, lose everything that she loves, including her fingers and the girlfriend she used to put them in, and get your head bashed in with a golf club. So yeah, that's a wonderful way to end Last of Us. That's a great series, Neil Druckmann. Thank you. Take a bow. That's the one we all wanted to see.
But don't worry, we're gonna have a brand new box set to sell the remasters of these games that we just sold you 3 years ago.
Yeah,
after you bought the last remastered box set.
Yeah, the remaster, the second remaster came out like just a few weeks ago, and they're already announcing, we're going to give you the combined deluxe edition with the remasters in it now. And I'm just like, fuck you.
Well, I mean, the frustration there is, assuming I did want it, assuming I did buy it, the fact that they've immediately turned around and have announced the bundled set feels like an insult because there's all the extra features that are being put in. There's the comics, there's all the extra bonus materials that they've included in that box that you would have had to have likely bought separately.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Naughty Dog Studios is it's dead. It's been co-opted by people who don't love anything, who don't care about anything, and just want you to feel miserable, I guess. Just like Neil Druckmann, who only gets off on, seeing how strong women do things with his wife.
Boy, thanks, Anita Sarkeesian, for giving us this.
Yeah, really. Savo asked, is she ugly or is she unusual looking? If we're talking about Bella Ramsey, kind of both.
She's got a big forehead.
Well, her entire facial features look scrunched in, and the rest of her facial features look bloated outward, and it gives her this perpetually young look, and the fact that she doesn't wear makeup much of the time, it just kind of makes it worse. So that doesn't really help anything. And is the game character supposed to be very pretty? Ellie's not necessarily really, really pretty in the game, but she's good looking, kind of, I mean, she's at least average. I mean, she's hot enough to score Dina, who in the series, by the way, is a hottie, played by that chick from Alien Romulus. So you have to ask yourself when you watch this show, is like, how did somebody who looks like Bella Ramsey score this ultra cute looking, chick in this, because like, I don't see it happening. There must have been like a lack of options or something.
I mean, zombies did kind of eliminate quite a few of your options. So
I mean, any port in the storm, any port in the storm, I guess, Sal says, you've seen the show. You don't think she's homely. She looks odd, unique, but she does. Yeah, exactly. She looks perpetually adolescent. And I mean, that's fine if she wants to keep playing those roles and taking those roles. But the point is, this is supposed to have happened a few years later, and Ellie is supposed to be more grown up. Because like in the original game, Ellie's like 8 or 9 or something? She's like a really young girl. Maybe 10. And then in Last of Us Part 2, she's 18, 19? So, yeah.
So Last of Us Part 1, she's 14.
Ew.
It's one of those things that kind of always amuses me about zombie shows, post-apocalyptia and all that kind of stuff is, the world has been stood on its head for 5 or 6 years now when you're growing up, but somehow your damn Hollywood skin cream regimen and everything has been completely unaffected by all the shortages and stuff. None of these stores got cleared out of their Mary Kay or their Maybelline.
But that stuff goes bad too. That's got a shelf life. I mean, I was actually surprised to find out that expired shampoo, there's a reason why it expires, because after it sits for too long, it basically just becomes bacteria.
I had no idea it could do that.
I know. I was just as shocked as you were. There were a lot of things I didn't realize what happens to it when it goes bad. But then you start trying to run a post-apocalypse campaign, and people ask you about, well, I got some toothpaste. Toothpaste goes bad. It expires. So does, mouthwash. And it's got alcohol in it. Some of it, anyway.
A lot of it doesn't go bad so much as it just loses a significant amount of its potency.
Mm-hmm. Hey, people died trying to save that body wash. Yeah, so you could spread some bacteria over your body to smell slightly better, maybe.
Stick to the lard, kids.
Yeah. I haven't finished watching that first episode, but I can say that, Joel is in therapy with like the worst therapist in the entire world. And this is kind of what gets me. The therapist is like trying to say, oh, you're holding something back from her. What is it you're holding back? And obviously, everybody else knows, because Joel basically killed all the fireflies in order to save Ellie, right? That's not a spoiler. Everybody knows about that. And he's keeping that secret from her. I mean, he straight up lied to her and said, no, it's, they all went bad. And so I had to kill them all. But so the therapist wants him to admit it, and they're all trying to keep it secret that she's, not able to be infected and all this other stuff. And I'm just kind of like, this is a plot point that really you can't do a whole lot with. I mean, it's a big secret. Oh, she can't be infected. Well, the fireflies are all dead anyway. So just like in the video game, that doesn't really play any kind of part in it. It's kind of like everybody's kind of moved on past that. Several years have gone by, and dealing with mushroom zombies is a way of life.
It's a bit of an issue that it worked for a one-off story with a lot of things best left untold, but they had such a success in their hands that they had to do a sequel. And unfortunately, they didn't really stop to think about certain elements of that plot.
No, they didn't. I really don't understand that second game at all. I mean, how they could have come to the decisions that they did, and what they were thinking of, and rather than just try to tell a good story, they instead shoehorn in Abby, and they force you to play Abby, and Abby gets to see all the people who Ellie will eventually murder as part of her revenge, and say, "Oh, see what wonderful people these were. These were real people who had families and pregnancies and dogs and all these other things. And look at Ellie coming along and killing all of them in revenge for me bashing Joel's head in with a golf club." And I'm just kind of like, you know how stupid this sounds, right?
See, that's where they just need to get someone to be completely... They just need an amoral character to say, "I don't care, you got in my way, I put you down."
Yeah.
Just
seriously.
Say, I don't care to empathize about you. You're the enemy. You have to be eliminated.
Mm-hmm. And the whole thing is predicated on the fact that Joel somehow managed to kill Abby's father, who was race swapped in order to fit her skin color. So that's a shoehorn already. But I mean, I don't know. The only other thing I can say about the Abby actress is she's not too bad on the eyes, but boy, she's got a honker on her. I mean, seriously, this thing turns the corner before she does. But I mean, I need to finish watching the episode and then grind my way to the next one and see how it goes. I kind of wonder if we had the all gay episode in last season, so I wonder if we're going to get the all lesbian episode with Dina and Ellie. I could see it happening, but they won't probably because male gays.
Well, I mean, at least to its credit, it seemed to have been a well-received episode for what it was.
Yeah, and it wasn't a bad episode. It was handled really well. It absolutely didn't need to be there. You could have bypassed that episode, and it really wouldn't have hurt your viewing any on that show. But it was kind of handled tastefully. On the other hand, I don't think there will be a big lesbian episode, just because it's like, would you really want to see a naked Bella Ramsey? Because I don't.
Nah, he's got to follow us the Ron White theory there.
Which is?
You seen one set of tits, you want to see the rest of them.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if it's old biker chick, they're going to hit the floor. Yeah, it's like, you want to see the tits? Yes, ma'am, I do.
I guess so.
Away. I've seen them.
I roll them
up. I don't know. I just still remember the most uncomfortable boob reveal I ever experienced in my entire viewing career was probably Game of Thrones, when we got to see Arya Stark do her thing there at the last season, and I'm just kind of like, I've seen this woman as a little girl growing up, and I don't really want to see this.
I feel so out of this because by that point I had already checked out of Game of Thrones. So there's like so many elements here. I'm like, I where I don't necessarily have the context of having seen it for myself.
You're really kind of not missing much. Honestly, anything past like, I'll be generous and say season 5. Anything past season 5 is of Game of Thrones just isn't worth watching anymore. Although season 5 is really pushing it because it was bad, but it's not as bad as it gets. You thought the hand signals between Ellie and Dina while hunting was endearing? Well, yeah. There were I'm not saying the game was completely irredeemable. As far as a game engine goes, as far as the action and everything else, yeah, those games are good. They're a little bit kind of imbalanced because apparently, Abby can have all these weapons and, all these rifles and guns and what have you. And not to mention she can actually kill zombies with her bare fists because she's so big and strong. And everything Ellie gets are just like, the crappiest weapons you can possibly find or would want to try to survive with. Ron White carried those. Okay, yeah, he did. Had a friend finish the Game of Thrones series. He's mad, but I warned him.
I could have told you not to finish Game of Thrones when people were still waiting for him to write the second book.
Yeah, well,
I read the first one before there was ever a TV show, and I was like, nope.
It has been 5,000 days since the last Game of Thrones book.
I'm pretty sure at this point he's just resigned himself to die before he finishes that series. I don't know. But I don't think it's his priority. He's too busy doing other things, like writing Elden Ring and all this other stuff. So more power to George.
The Tolkien online.
Yeah. Oh boy. I mean, I'm sorry, George, but you couldn't even carry Tolkien's jockstrap.
Yeah, not even. I mean, but that's the way of things here, and it's not just books, movies, anime, games, the whole thing. It's like the expression I like to use is these people like to use the fact that they're standing on the shoulders of giants to piss in the giants' face.
Oh yeah, like all the other people who are bemoaning Lovecraft and yet will still bring out a game based on Lovecraft stuff. We don't know any companies like that.
No, there's none.
No, nobody would be so cowardly and heinous. But
great
anyway, yeah. Anyway, we do have some. That was kind of our dump. So now that we've got the shit out of the hose, it's time for the clean water, the good stuff. So let's go with some good stuff. We have Ethan Herfurth, who has a Kickstarter, which is
hello, everybody.
Yep, which is called the Crystaline Guide to Endless Specialization TTRPG Boost.
Yep. Essentially, the book is meant to be added to any pre-existing TTRPG in order to add over 300 customizations.
Fuzzle Enough Games?
Yeah, that's the name I'm using at the moment. That
I love it.
That name was the name of one of my father's first D&D characters, which when I started playing D&D after he taught me, I took up that name as one of my characters and it stuck.
Nice. Okay, I won't cast any shade on it. But the Kickstarter hasn't actually started yet. When are you planning on starting?
I was hoping to start after I have about 50 people wanting it to start, basically.
All right. So you guys out there in the audience, those of y'all who are watching this on the replay, this is your chance to actually help get a Kickstarter started. You don't actually have to pledge anything, but if you click the notify me on launch, then that's, all it takes for him to get enough notification to get it started. So there you go.
Yep.
So, all right. Let's take a look at some of this. I have an example page here.
Yep. Which the book has basically everything you can think of, be it common, crazy, or everything in between. For a lot of it, it was all ideas, one after the other, that came to me as time went on. Overall, this book took over 2 years to produce.
Wow. Okay, and what exactly is this book?
Essentially, each one of these are something called crystal classes, which start at level 0, go up to level 10, and provide new abilities for more character interactions with the game, more powers for players to use, or just things to spice up the campaign as a whole.
So kind of like templates.
Yeah, essentially.
Okay. And I was told this was system agnostic.
Yes, this I believe can work with anything that has a leveling system attached to it.
Okay. So we could use it with Fabula Ultima.
Absolutely.
So is it not? Is it just suboptimal, or does it not have anything that works with TTRPGs that shy away from leveling and class-based systems?
Well, the way that you advance in the book is by using the leveling mechanism of the base game, but you could give it as boons in a game that doesn't use a leveling system. So realistically, it could work with anything.
Okay. Just out of curiosity, is it I'm this is an example page, so I'm assuming there's a whole lot more to it than this.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Is it just going to be a PDF, or is it going to be like a print option, or?
Right now, I'm only able to make digital copies, but hopefully, if the book does get funded, I can use the additional funds to work out a way to make it physical.
Okay. And there will be illustrations in the complete book?
Yes, there will. I believe I actually sent you one of them.
Mm-hmm. You sent me a couple, really, but here's one.
Yep. This one is translucent due to line art, but this is the class of Aegeus, which is basically one of the classes that are meant to be tanks within the book. For every category, which there are 17 different... There's basically a bunch of different roles in combat that are present within the book. I organized it 3 different ways, but for every role in combat, there will be one illustration that acts as the poster boy for it, essentially. Mm-hmm. And this is going to be the one for the tank class, basically.
Yeah, so he's got all the shields. I guess they're meant to be more tanky, can take more hits, or won't fall down, or... Okay.
Yep.
So, how many pages was this set to be?
115, I believe, was the original number. It might be more or less as I'm formatting it.
Okay,
Is it exclusively fantasy, or are you also got some sci-fi, cyberpunk, modern?
I've got a little bit of everything. Some classes off the top of my head that I can imagine fitting perfectly into a sci-fi setting. Nanomachine constructor.
Ooh.
There's a cybernetic enhancer, and a Xeno were actually different ones that existed.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I'd be curious to see how something like this might be used with other systems, such as Stars Without Number or Cities Without Number. Yes, T-shirt, drink.
Yes. Got it right here, man. Fresca today. Woo, getting bougie.
Pinky's out.
Mm-hmm. It's all right. My man Ethan's doing Cherry RC, so I respect that very much. Daniel can probably appreciate Cherry RC too, because we're like from the South, and RC is the shit.
Yeah, where's your moon pie?
Yeah.
Banana,
that's what I asked him beforehand.
Nonsense around here.
Man, you know how many flavors moon pies come in now?
Oh yeah, they got the vanilla one's actually pretty good. But I walk in a gas station, it's like vanilla, strawberry, and watermelon moon pie. Like, give me my banana moon pie and go away.
And then there's like get this. I've actually come across. There's like down here. There's like a Mexican variant. That's called something else, and they have like flavors like guava and stuff. So
I thought
I'm
you were
not
saying
gonna lie.
salsa.
I'd go for a double decker Mexican chocolate moon pie with a little spice to it.
That would be awesome.
Drink it with a nice dark beer and call it a day.
And oh man, Ego's out there. I hope he can join us. Savo says, I can see where a supplement like this one could help inspire players to roleplay, especially those reluctant to do so without some explicit rules to back them up. And okay, Daniel, I have a question for you. Savo asked this question on Saturday. I think you remember about what you would do if you had a player who kind of just wasn't really, into the game or doing very much in the game. And I guess that one goes to you too, Caster. So you guys answer that one.
There's a few different ways you can handle that. Generally, what I've generally found is it's very rarely a personal issue with the player. Like the player is embarrassed to get involved or is just kind of being quietly on the side. It comes down to knowing your players because everybody's turned on by something a little different. And you got the player who lights up in combat and then spends all of the social encounters drawing comical pictures of what the party was doing otherwise, or going to get a beer or whatever. So a lot of it just comes into putting in a lot of different small stimuli early on. Like, let's just use a leveling system as an example and say we got level 1. Put in some small social encounters, put in a few environmental encounters, some puzzle type things, some combat encounters. You're low level. A lot of this stuff is going to be very quick, 1, 2, 3 action resolution type encounters, and pay attention to your players and see what makes them tick. You put more of what makes everybody or more people tick in. You put in less of the things that everybody just kind of waits to roll for.
Mm-hmm.
That's really the best way to do it. And you encourage them, ask them questions. I'm big on this. If I'm running a game, everybody's talking back and forth, trying to figure something. I'm always looking for that person who, in medicine or in sales, we'll call it a doorknob question, where they look like they're trying to say something, but then they walk out the door. Uh-huh. And it's the same deal. You can see that person. Oh, they got something to say. And you got two people who are going back and forth. It's like, hey, hold on a second. John, what did you have to say? What do you think? Or what is, Grog will smash the third. What's he thinking? And sometimes you'll get he ain't thinking anything. He's sharpening his axe, waiting for y'all to figure out how to open the door. And sometimes it'll be, hey, he's got an idea, and you'll get a role-playing moment out of it. And that'll tell you, were they really just having trouble to get a word in edgewise or needed some prompting, or are they really just waiting to get to hit something with an axe?
Yeah, I mean, there's a bit of an issue there where some people are just ultimately content to be that wallflower. And these are the type of people who can be perfectly content to just be along for the journey. Maybe not necessarily wanting to be the center of attention, but they want to be there. They want to be part of the game. They do want to, participate, maybe roll some dice, but they don't necessarily feel comfortable getting outside of that shell. Ultimately, there's nothing wrong with a person being like that. And so there is that challenge in wanting to make sure that they do feel comfortable being part of the group, while also not trying to force someone out of that comfort zone where, frankly, they're not comfortable. So while it is important to do all those things, I think it's also important to, keep those lines of communication. Ask, hey, how are we doing? Are you having fun? I noticed you weren't necessarily, maybe talk with them after the session or at a little break, at a little lull in the session. Maybe everyone's got up to go, get the bathroom breaks in, people are making sandwiches. You can step to the side with them and say, hey, how are we doing? I noticed you're not really participating too much. Is there something wrong? Or do you want to, is there something that I could do to help, make you feel more comfortable? It all ultimately depends on the type of person you're dealing with.
Yeah.
My dad used to always say, you just got to remember, you can't push somebody with a rope. So all you can really do is give the opportunity and give them a little guidance, a little tug. But if they're not going to walk, they're not going to walk. And if they're resisting, stop. You give them the chance to step in, and then assume. There's a lot of things that you should just do on assumption. It's part of the reason why safety tools don't need to exist. Is if we would just assume people are decent human beings. It's real simple. If you are not going to step in to the opportunity, you're not going to step into the opening, I'm going to assume it's because you don't want to, but I'm also going to pay attention and I'm going to look for natural reactions. You can tell when somebody's irritated. You can tell when somebody is, you can look at them and tell when they're just sitting there versus they're getting frustrated or they're, there's different looks on their face. It's just, this is one of those things where virtual tabletops and playing on things like Discord and whatnot kind of get a little bit more dicey and a little rough, and where playing in person really excels is because 70 some odd % of all our communication is visual and percent is nonverbal.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think, Ethan? Do you have anything to add to this?
Well, in my case, I'm running 4 campaigns weekly right now.
Jeez.
So it sounds like there's a good chance you might have one of these types of players.
It's like how I've always handled players that need a bit more encouragement to get into stuff, or overall just kind of, I'd mostly just throw them a bone, hit them, find a moment in the game where it would be significant for them. And my favorite thing to ask in the games, especially during combat, is things like, how do you get rid of the enemy? Like, how do you destroy them? How do you kill them? And it is my favorite question to ask. Mostly because it makes the player come up with however much fanfare they want to do whatever they need to in that moment.
Oh, this is kind of cool.
It's very much the Matt Mercer effect of where he will give his players the ability to narrate how they finish off a big bad guy. The ever so famous, how do you want to do this?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Sabo says, our game master makes us write down our character's milestones for XP. An example is one character has to suck face with an unwilling noble lady to make level 8. And I'm just like, wow.
I'm turning in my sheet right now, and it basically reads like that little pedometer thing you put on your wrist. It's like, as long as my character can get 1,000 steps, he gets a level every day.
Yeah.
Gamistry, baby.
I usually just give level ups after a big fight. I don't like using XP, like raw XP for stuff.
I mean, I don't know. I'd be tempted to write down some really snarky stuff on the milestone XP thing, like using a child as a wall marker, but don't ask. It happened in a game.
Is that one of those how many babies does it take to paint a room jokes?
Yes, it literally was.
Did the child survive?
No.
Definitely
it was
not.
it was a case of the entire party turned evil because of a device. And they had just committed some kind of a heinous crime, and they wanted everybody to know it was them that did it. And they were looking for something to write on the wall with, and then they heard a baby crying nearby. You can guess what happened after that. Yeah. Drunken Donuts says, when I was a DM, when I played Dungeons and Dragons when I was younger, I'd always make one of my friend's characters lose both legs. He would survive and have to travel around in somebody's backpack. Oh my gosh.
No.
Wheelchair DM or wheelchair characters before the wheelchair. But that's a better way of doing the wheelchair, in my opinion. Because, I mean, at least now it's inconveniencing someone else in the party. So,
that's actually not a bad idea, especially if they were the spellcaster.
Yeah, because you could effectively have like the Master Blaster situation.
Who rules Barter Town?
Master Blaster rules Barter Town.
What is the first thing I thought of was Yoda in the backpack? Why is that the first thing now?
that works, or C-3PO and on Chewbacca's back. I mean, it's such a trope. It works.
Mm-hmm.
Get the whole you get the super intellect on riding around on the invincible brute. I mean, it's there's a reason it's a trope, and there's a reason why it's a good one.
Tropes exist for a reason because they worked over and over and over again.
Exactly. I mean, it's like it had to happen more than once for it to become a trope.
That's true.
But anyway, all right. So Ethan, I'm looking forward to seeing what you come up with. I hope you'll get your notifications and.
Oh well, thank you.
Just let me know. I mean, I'm already signed up to be notified. So if it gets off the ground, I'll know.
Good to hear. I just as a bit more of encouragement. In total, with the book, it allows for over 26 million total combinations.
Jesus.
Let me see if I can find the exact number really quick. Yes, it is 26,730,600 combinations.
Good Lord.
And that is of the initial effect of the book.
What do you mean the initial effect?
Basically, as part of the crystals of the book, there's one special type of crystal referred to as a fusion crystal, which allows you to fuse two pre-existing classes that you have together, creating a completely brand new one.
That's interesting.
So theoretically, it could just keep going until you reach singularity at some point.
I've always been really fascinated by the isekai trope, and I have a feeling something like this would be really good for that.
I think it would.
You want to reincarnate in a new world, and you get one of these crystals to be your initial power that sets you apart from the other peasants.
Yep. In the campaign in which I play tested all of this, it was a thing that everyone in the world started out with one. And believe me, that was a fun way of running it.
It was. All right. Y'all ready for some lighthearted entertainment? Oh, by the way, Castor, I did throw some new media assets down, right?
Oh.
Did you? I don't know if you saw the new ones, did you?
I don't think so.
Or should I say?
I guess you didn't see that, did you?
You're one of them special folks, ain't you?
For you,
resentment can grow quietly without much warning after a storm. Mushrooms can too. Shiitake?
That's so terrible. I had to use it. I had to.
You got to use you. Sorry, I can't talk. You need to bring back Young Yaz Yakuza song.
Oh no, I prefer not to do anything dealing with that man. In fact, every time I see him, all I want to do is say,
Shut your fucking mouth! No problem, John. Shut the fuck up, you cunt! Shut it!
Yeah, so we got some new ones. But this rolled across my my feed today, and I thought this is so damn funny. I've got to put this on the show at least once. And this one is courtesy of Green Frog, I believe. It says on their AI thing, but this was pretty good. I have to say.
I kind of want something other to eat.
Well, what would you like?
You got any biscuits for sale in there?
No, this here's a Frosty Cream. We don't serve biscuits. We got a lot of other stuff, though.
What you got in there is good to eat.
Well, we got Big Cheap Burgers, Bongo Burgers, Footlongs, Corny Dogs, Frosty Shakes, Creamy Bars. Did you want me to go through the whole list?
Reckon what you like to eat in there?
Well, the French fries are pretty good.
French fried potatoes?
Yep, French fries.
How much you want for them?
Well, they're 60 for the medium and 75
Her
for
singing
large.
voice wasn't that bad.
I reckon I'll have me some of the bacon.
I think it's just based on that expression she made in that scene. My God, they're killing that Snow White stuff, man. And deservedly so.
It's bad enough that you put out an awful movie, but you made everybody hate it before you ever got there.
I mean,
she had no chance, none. It could have been Citizen Kane, and they would have panned it because of her mouth.
Mm-hmm.
But
I mean,
then she puts that, you dropped a deuce like that one.
I don't wish bad on most people, but I definitely think that Hollywood is probably going to give her a little break from doing any work for a while until she, maybe grows up a little bit and learns how to talk.
I think the actors who played the Seven Dwarves have never, ever been happier than the day that Disney came out and said, "Hey guys, we're going to put AI dwarves over the top of you guys." You mean my family won't see me in this?
182 million right now, by the way.
Oh my God. And on what kind of budget?
Based on everything that's been kind of speculated, we're looking at probably 300 for the budget.
I thought Captain America Brave New World was going to be a tank, but Jesus. Speaking of which,
meanwhile, Minecraft is at $550 million after 2 weekends.
Oh, I know. And the chicken jockey scene has pretty much become a Rocky Horror Picture Show type thing now, where everybody goes to the show just to throw popcorn and stuff at the chicken jockey scene.
They threw a natural chicken.
I heard that. I don't know how they smuggled it in there, but golly.
I don't know if you've been to the movie theater here recently, but you don't have to smuggle anything anymore. It's like I used to. You'd say, "All right, I'm going to slip a couple of candy bars here and a Coke in my pocket, and they're going to look at me. I better not be wearing too thick of a coat in the summertime." These days, I'm just rolling a catering cart through that place.
Yeah, they don't care. They're just happy to get anybody in there.
A rack of pies and a wine rack coming in behind me. They're just happy I'm there.
And the thing is, my understanding is they're putting warning things at the beginning of the show, have courtesy during the chicken jockey scene and don't, throw popcorn and everything. And I'm just kind of like, are you nuts? This is the best thing that could happen to you because, I used to be an assistant manager for a theater, and I'm going to tell you right now, theaters don't make shit off of the actual ticket sales so much. It's the concessions where they make their money. And that's also why the prices on concessions are jacked so high and why they're so strict about you not smuggling in food and shit, because they want to sell concessions because it's where they make their money.
So what you're saying is that they ought to put a little pop-up popcorn stand right at the entrance.
And hell yeah.
A guy wheel it in like at the ballpark, some guy in there waving it out with a little cart and tray and everything when that scene comes up. Popcorn, get your popcorn.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, it's like, just, cash in on that. I mean, the movie is so big, it's got such a guaranteed audience behind it. Just enjoy your concession sales. I mean, yeah, okay, it's a big pain in the ass to clean up afterward. It is, but still.
I was just about to say, it's not like they clean up on the floors anyway.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, theaters these days are pretty immaculate, but man, I remember back in the day when I worked at those things, it's like, you'd walk on the floor and be like, because you would like stick to your, I mean, like, I swear the floor either felt like somebody had poured Dr. Pepper in the mop bucket, and I mean only Dr. Pepper, or they had poured all of the butter from the butter on the popcorn in the mop bucket and only mopped with that.
Hey, true story. When I was 16 years old, I had something stuck to my foot when I walked out of a movie theater. And I looked down. And it was a Juzam gin.
Magic card?
Yes. It was a black border Juzam which at the time was like widely considered to be the best creature in the game.
Oh, somebody was mad about that, I'll bet.
I bet they were. I wasn't.
Damn. Talk about like fishing and coming out with a prize.
Well, I mean, it wasn't like it was in mint condition after I walked it out of the theater.
Still. I think I vaguely remember the Jizam Jin.
One of the best pieces of art in early Magic, in my opinion.
All the art in early Magic was really good. Now it's just commercial swill. All right. Well, I do have some other good things to show you because I've seen some games that are up and coming that look pretty good, and hopefully the stream can handle it and it won't, slow down to a crawl, and then we get 2 frames per second. But I tried to get these in lower resolution so that it would load up faster and be in better shape. So just keep your fingers crossed, and we'll see how it goes.
Good evening, Noah. Having trouble sleeping again?
So far, so good.
Oh yeah, so far.
Your cortisol levels are elevated. Something's interfering, detecting temporal anomaly.
How many times has this happened to you?
I know, you're looking in the mirror and you wake up in Innsmouth.
Yeah, I hate it when I flush my fish toilet and end up in 1920 New England.
Just end up in the bayou.
I hate it when I flush the toilet and then the toilet flushes me.
Yeah, that's what looks like happening there.
Noah, stabilize your breathing rate. Focus on my voice.
Yeah, that would be.
Critical. Stay with me, Noah.
Oh.
It's kind of. If it's got enough pressure to crack your suit, you're dead, man.
Noah, the knowledge, it's beautiful.
Berloff. Oh, it actually is.
Uh-huh.
Good evening, Noah. Having trouble sleeping again?
I mean, we need more Cthulhu-based games, and that one looks really good.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say we need less Cthulhu-based games and we need more Cthulhu mythos-based games. Because everybody knows Cthulhu, he's cool and all that stuff, but where's my Haster games? Where's my Nyarlathotep? Where are my other elder gods?
Oh, there's a few that use the King in Yellow.
Yeah, King in Yellow. Like you said, you got to have Haster.
Mm-hmm.
Him and his stupid symbol.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I want to see a guy walk into his apartment and open the bathroom door, and there's Azathoth. That's one of the best Call of Cthulhu 7th edition adventures ever. The past dues, where everybody plays criminals and you're trying to go hit the guy up for his take, and he had some problems. I love the entire. I guess I don't want to get into spoilers in case nobody's played it, but it just has a lot of things that really appeal to my sense of humor, including elder gods in the bathroom.
I always thought it'd be kind of fun to use. Which one is he? It's the one who can simultaneously be everywhere and nowhere all at once in any realm, dimension, or whatever.
Isn't that Azathoth?
I thought Azathoth was the thing that was at the center of the universe with idiot pipers.
Yeah, Azathoth is the idiot god and the idiot dreamer that has to stay asleep in the center of the universe.
Mm-hmm. But this other one is a traveler, can go anywhere. He's the one who basically had sex with Wilbur, what's his name's mom, and produced him and his brother, the Whateleys, in the Dunwich Horror.
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about, and he's slipping. It's not Nyarlathotep. It's
Nah, it's not Nyarlathotep. Damn, this is gonna bug me. But anyway, I always thought it would be fun to have that thing show up and just take you on a tour of the universe that you didn't want. Because that's literally what he can do. But anyway, let's see.
Is that Shugnigaroth?
No, that's the black goat mother with 1,000 young, who has like the tree demon things. God, there's so many Cthulhu mythos creatures. It's really, I don't know how people can keep them all just, separate out. I remember a lot of them, but why that one is escaping? Because it's not Sathagua, it's not Yagalanak, it's not
It's not Yog-Sothoth.
Yeah.
It is Yog-Sothoth.
Sure, because I don't think Yog-Sothoth was Dunwich Horror. That was Charles Dexter Ward.
Yog-Sothoth was basically the father of the Whateleys, Wilbur and his brother. But Yog-Sothoth is the traveler that can go anywhere in the universe. He can exist everywhere and nowhere at once, and he exists in all times and all places.
Yeah, we're both right.
Yep.
He was first mentioned in the case of Charles Dexter Ward.
Okay.
He is the primary focus of the Dunwich Horror. You're absolutely right. It is Yog-Sothoth. Just one of the many, many Cthulhu mythos deities that's way cooler than old Squidhead.
I mean, come on now. I like old Squidhead, but yeah, he really doesn't get a lot of playtime, honestly. I mean, it's like outside of the Call of Cthulhu, he's not mentioned a lot.
I think half the problem with Cthulhu is, Cthulhu's one of those, he's really, like, if you put him in like D&D terms, he's really powerful, but he's kind of one-dimensional.
Mm-hmm.
It's like there's not a lot of interesting messing with now it's cultist, definitely. There's not a lot of interesting messing with everything. That's why you don't see a lot of Tarrasques in D&D games. Because, I mean, Tarrasque is just stomp around, eat everything, and go back to sleep. And there's not a lot of interesting stuff that goes on around the Tarrasque. And if it shows up, that's the end of the campaign, either because you killed the Tarrasque and there's not really much else to go for after that, or the Tarrasque did what Tarrasques do and killed everybody because you didn't have any wish spells.
Yeah.
Not a lot of kind of brute force.
Yeah, Cthulhu actually works better as like an unseen villain, because it's just, since he can invade your dreams and stuff and influence people through their dreams, it's he's a little bit more sinister that way. Plus, yeah, he does have a cult. But just a passerby says, release date 2026. That really bothers me. I don't know. That doesn't bother me because, I mean, we haven't actually seen any gameplay footage. That was just, cinematic. So cinematics are always going to look good. But what is kind of interesting is obviously it's futuristic because, there's cybernetics on display there. There's AI on display there. And it is a aquatic environment, like a deep sea aquatic environment, which that's going to like ramp up the claustrophobia for people. And it's going to create all kinds of nasty situations because, you get a hole punched in your ship or your base or something like that. And it's like sitting on the ocean floor. Bad things happen.
I mean, the concept alone, I think, serves a good job. It certainly got me feeling creeped out, so it's on my radar now. I'm well aware of it, and while I don't tend to do a ton of horror games, I'm intrigued enough to want to check this one out. So, if they got my interest, but now the ball's in their court not to fuck this up.
Yeah, let's hope it doesn't become another Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. Still waiting for that thing. What is it, October release? Yeah. After what, almost 5 years? God.
I think I'm done with AI art generation.
Really? Why?
Because I went into Grok and I told it to produce me an image of bad, quote unquote, bad gameplay footage of a Call of Cthulhu game so I could show everybody what the actual gameplay is going to look like as opposed to the cinematic trailer. And stupid Grok, for the first time ever, first prompt, actually craps out an image that looks more like something that would be a decent game.
Well, let's see it. Just use the present button.
Let me see how I can make that happen. Where is that damn present button?
Put it at the bottom now.
Yeah, I see it. Let me download the image real quick.
Yeah. I'm not one of these people who poo-poos AI. I think it's pretty fun to use. It's nice to work with, and it does occasionally end up being extremely helpful, maybe too helpful at times.
I don't have a problem with it. I mean, look at my avatar right now. It's the thumbnail from my latest video.
Yeah.
I mean, it is clearly AI.
Oh yeah, but it's still fun.
I told it to present, but it is not presenting.
Oh, here it is. I had to enable it. Oh wow, it kind of looks like Timothy Bottoms.
I mean, other than the bad font on the actual up on the computer, but like I said, that actually looks like an image of a halfway decent Cthulhu game.
Kind of does actually. I'd play that.
Wait a minute, that's just his wallpaper.
So, damn it, Grok, make it 8-bit. That wouldn't work for me either. I'd play 8-bit Cthulhu all day long.
Yeah, I remember we came from an 8-bit generation, so there were times I used to sit around and play like 32-bit games and look at my friend who was, who is, at least 20, 30 years older than I am and say, gosh, wouldn't it be cool if they had ultra realistic graphics and they had like people who looked as real as you and me? And now we have them, and for some reason the game seemed less interesting. How did that happen?
Yeah. I'll tell you this. I know what is the name of that company? It's killing me because I've got the letters wrong. Like I said, I know the most terrifying and horrible thing that could ever happen to a Cthulhu game to people from our generation is that logo pops up and the little rainbow comes over. I keep wanting to say JLM, but that's not right.
IJN?
I think that's it. The one that did all the bad licensed games in the
LJN.
LJN, yeah, they did the Friday the 13th game.
It's like Call of Cthulhu here in 2026. Ding! No!
God. But some people would probably buy it just for the nostalgia factor. People are weird like that. Like people who, manage to convince me to buy handheld retro game console systems.
There are so many bad games that I buy and play just because I'm like, man, I remember getting this from the rental at the whatever it's called, the damn the grocery store rental section.
Are you trying to imply something here?
No. I just wanted people to be sure that they knew who it was who got me to spend my money buying 2 Evercades and some cartridges. I just, I just wanted to give a hint, okay? I didn't want anybody to.
Well, don't leave. What did you get?
I got the Taito edition Evercade because I wanted to play Rostan so bad. I mean, does anybody remember Rostan besides me? The character is basically Conan the Barbarian. Okay, so I was the only one who really enjoyed it. It also had Kadash on it. Still nobody? Okay. Well, I liked those. And Legend of Kage, which I had on the 8-bit Nintendo, so it was nice to get it in the arcade format.
What was that Super Nintendo game? It was like Way of the Samurai or something like that. If he got hit, he'd lose his sword and go, "Oh, my sword." It's like super ghosts and goblins with a bad samurai.
Oh, I don't remember that one, but the other one I got was I got the Technos Japan one.
You're in luck because I inadvertently ordered 2 copies of one of them, so I might have to send you a package.
Ooh, hey, I wouldn't mind. But the Technos Japan one has every single Double Dragon game, including the 8-bit and the Game Boy versions.
Ooh.
It also has
Double Dragon.
It also has River City Ransom, and I can confirm that the old codes for River City Ransom work on this. So,
that's weird.
Yeah, I have my ultimate River City Ransom game back again.
So, who here got into an actual fist fight with a sibling because of Double Dragon?
I don't have any siblings, but
I'm as somebody who has multiple siblings, I am firmly convinced that that was a joke of the game designers that they put into Double Dragon to make sure that it just caused fist fights in the living room. Because it's the only beat 'em up that I personally can remember where the default setting is that the 2 players can hit each other.
Mm-hmm.
So the first time you do that little jumping spin, hurricane kick thing, and you hit your brother in the back of the head on his last life.
Or how about the end where you actually do defeat Willie the boss and all his henchmen, and it ends up being Billy and Jimmy have to fight to the death in order to see who's going to take Marion home.
There's absolutely no toxic masculinity or patriarchy or anything in that game.
Oh no. And there's a lot of references too, like there's the Mr. T Bobo that shows up.
Yep.
And the Green Hulk one.
Everyone join me in prayer right now as we pray that the IP for Double Dragon does not get picked up by any modern game studio ever, because there is no way it won't get ruined.
Actually, there is a modern Double Dragon that's actually pretty fun. I have it, and it's pretty good. I can't remember what it is right offhand, but yeah, there's a modern Double Dragon that's pretty good, and I think there is actually a new Double Dragon on the way.
No,
I think so.
I don't trust them.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I reserve judgment. The nice thing is it's not a AAA or quadruple A studio that has it. And, like I was saying to Ethan before the show, the one thing I like about independent producers and creators, they have heart and soul and love for the things they create. And you could tell when you play it or when you read it. And the big studios, they don't care anymore. They are exactly like the Hollywood studios plunking out those, billion-dollar films that are absolute trash that you will completely forget about the instant you leave the theater. Versus
I'm a bit more cynical than that.
Oh, are you?
Oh, I think the indie designers, for the most part, it's not so much heart and soul as that they actually like making money. So they focus on putting out something people actually want to buy and play. Whereas the AAA companies can get investment money from people who care more about other things. So they're like, just get the garbage game out there so that we can get this money in from this investor, that investor. And from, there's AAA BlackRock over there needs to buy some of our stock. So make sure we have a launch for next year.
And make sure we have at least one, black gay chick in it.
Yeah, make sure it hits all the ESG marks.
Mm-hmm.
There's ultimately a difference between what you're going to see from the big corporate studios and what you see from these little passion project groups where the guy who owns the company helped design the game. He probably did half the coding, so he has the most invested in interest in seeing this game succeed than anyone else. He's not, smoking $50 bills on a yacht. Like, they're not even the brand new crisp ones. No, this one Jeeves brought was slightly folded, so we had to get rid of that dirty money.
It's kind of like they said, with the 90s pro wrestling stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, once you start booking by committee, that's when you have a problem.
Mm-hmm.
You got 9 guys in the room trying to tell you how the storyline's going to go.
Crazy, man. And So true. But anyway, guys, our hour is up. Unless anybody's got anything extra they want to contribute or add. Oh, yeah, wait a minute. Daniel, you have an announcement.
Yeah, I got a little bit of, it's more of an announcement teaser right now because I've got a few little details to hammer out here. I am actually going to start my Patreon here soon, way ahead of schedule, because anybody who's actually followed and watched my channel knows I've been saying for over a year now that I don't really care if that channel makes money, but I do want it to monetize and bring some income in, specifically so that I can purchase and fix up old cars, which is one of the things I do for video content, and give them away to the people that are subscribers to my channel, Patreon members, that sort of thing. That's always been kind of off in the future. I don't even have the watch hours to get super chats yet, and I don't have 1,000 people yet to do ad revenue. However, like I said, there's a lot of boxes to check and a couple other things to look at right now. But the long and short of it is a gentleman reached out to me this weekend and gave me a early 70s muscle car to restore.
Oh, what kind?
So I don't know what the details are going to be on there, but I'm going to set up my Patreon to where people who pay get to vote on and put in ideas and whatnot for how to fix it up and how to set it up. And if everything goes amazingly wonderful and fantastic, maybe one of these major gaming conventions or one of these, my local convention, Comic-Con here in Birmingham or something, maybe in the next year or so, I'll be picking somebody out of my subscriber list to come down and get a car. So
that would be awesome.
And it's a pretty cool one too. It's not like, I don't plan on doing just like muscle cars because that would be insanely expensive. And those are super highly desirable in a lot of ways. They're hard to fight for and whatnot. I'm looking for interesting stuff that would be, very geek chic and cool and have other character to them. But I'm not turning my nose up at anything. And this one's pretty sharp. I mean, I've seen the pictures of, the body looks really straight. There's some cool history to it. And the only real question is getting a good solid look at it, getting the paperwork lined up and towing the thing down here so that I can get a firm grasp on just how much work I'm going to be signing up for to finish it up. And comes at a good time because I'm very, very close to finished with the mechanical work on my 280ZX that I've been using for a while.
Well, I know which one you should do, and it probably wouldn't be that expensive.
What's that one?
An Oldsmobile Delta 88 1973. And it has to be yellow.
Delta 88 is on the list for that exact reason.
But you know what that's in reference to, right?
Oh, chainsaw is coming with it.
Good.
Chainsaw and the shotgun.
Yeah. So for those of you guys out there who don't know, Sam Raimi, that was like his first original car was a Delta 88, a 1973 Delta 88, and it was a yellow one. It has been in every single film that he has made, with a few exceptions. Like, I mean, there was no way it could be in Quick and the Dead. But just about every other film, including Multiverse of Madness, it is in. And he calls that car the classic.
So on another kind of geek, a little bit of a nerd throwback here. Now, I will say this is not an exact match because Baby happens to be a 67 Impala.
Ooh.
67, and it's a 67 Impala 4. It's a very specific 67 Impala 4-door.
Mm-hmm.
But I do have a line on I believe it's a 68 Impala 2-door that's slightly different, but or Impala 4-door that is black, that is around the corner from me, that is one that I could possibly acquire sometime here in the near future. So I could also be making the Supernatural car as well at some point.
Oh, I'm sure Castor would hate that.
Oh, I mean, I was just thinking down the list of iconic cars to go after, and I was thinking of Eleanor, 71 Ford Mustang.
Look, if I get my hands on a 71 GT350, the only place it's going is my garage or an auction block.
Or how about a
let me just squash that right here. I don't care if I end up getting like I don't care if I got Critical Role money. We are not giving it. There will not be given away any $750,000 Barrett Jackson show cars on the channel.
How about a 1976 Ford Grand Torino in red?
There you go. Now the Torinos are still reasonable, especially if they're in restore me condition. That's the real key there, is that a lot of these are a lot cheaper when it's like, hey, you have to tow this and the tires have been flat since the bicentennial. A lot cheaper.
Well, you know what that is a reference to, right?
That one I actually miss.
Starsky and Hutch.
Oh, that is Starsky and Hutch, because the minute you started saying Torino, my mind went green instantly.
Yeah. I'm showing my age, but
yeah.
And
there will be no orange Charger either. Just so orange Chargers, you got people who go on Facebook and there's like a rusted out rear axle and they'll be like, 71 Dodge Charger, $19,000. I know what I got. Don't lowball me.
Uh-huh.
So you got a pile of rust is what you got. You called it numbers matching, but that's just because they're all equally rusted.
You got a tetanus shot waiting for you, buddy.
That's right.
Well, everybody out there in YouTube land, if you're watching the show now, if you're watching this on replay, go give Driving and Dragons a sub. Go help him get to his dream. Subscribe to his Patreon when he gets it going, and help this guy make some cars for people, possibly for you.
Yeah, or at least maybe get your design on the hood.
Mm-hmm. And don't forget to subscribe to Ironcaster too, because this man's getting closer and closer to his 1,000 subs.
I am at 799 right now.
Oh, who will be the 800th?
I'm at like 516, I think.
For 800, we will give away a car.
Hey. Well, guys, I know what you guys have been through. I've been there. It took a long time before I got to my 1,000 too. So, and I'm still trying to hang on to it. I lose subs, I gain subs, and I never know what I'm doing wrong. I just know, like, this is what got me here. This is kind of what we probably need to stay with. So, but anyway, shall we close it down for the evening?
Yeah. Tell you what.
All right.
T-shirt. I think Saturday we'll do something a little special. Something you and I were talking about a little bit behind the scenes. I got these special Funyuns.
Oh, I'm glad you left those unopened. Because, yes, Saturday I want to hear about it, and I will probably procure a snack food of my own.
And who knows, with any luck, maybe I'll have my copy of Axe 2.
Hey, that would be cool. That'd be cool to show off on the stream.
Dirty simulationist.
Hey, man, Axe is awesome. We love Macrease. I'd love to have him back on again as often as possible.
Yeah, he is pretty awesome. I've had more than my fair share of good conversations with him.
Yeah, I mean, that's the nice thing about him. He's easy to talk to, even on X. I mean, where you got people with so many, opinions and egos. He's surprisingly pretty laid back. So, but all right, everybody out there in YouTube land, y'all take care. Have a great Week in Geek, and we will see you on Saturday at 4 p.m. for the Week in Geek show. Till then,
peace.
Take care.